Hey everyone, I'm coming through with a different video today than what I normally upload. I wasn't really sure if I should upload this because it's a little different than my normal kind of style of content, but it's something important to me. But I feel like in the honor of the 4th year of his passing, I feel like it's a good time to drop a little tribute. Hell, I thought about maybe making one of these every year because he meant so much to me and dude, he inspired so many other people. It always slips my mind, but I always get a feeling to watch a lot of old Etika streams around this time of year. Then I realized it's because the 19th of June is the anniversary of the passing of probably the most unmatched content creator on the planet. This will be a little bit of a story time, but mainly just me talking about Etika and how some of my favorite moments on the internet were pretty much alongside my favorite content creator of all time. So let's get into this. The year was mid 2013 or 2014. I'm on YouTube and I caught a recommended video that has something about an Attack on Titan tribute game. I'm like, what? I remember seeing a dude with the flat top in the thumbnail. Well, I got curious and clicked the vid. Immediately, I knew I was going to be watching this guy's videos more often. I'm over here getting hyped with him, watching this dude fighting jumping titans with his viewers. They're playing like the chibi style characters from AOT. I started to get progressively more invested and, started catching streams closer to 2015. And man, were those streams just absolutely lit. His content like really heavily inspired me to get my first gaming desktop and retire my old laptop at the time. So I would have something to at least begin venturing into content creation and proper PC gaming. One of the most awesome moments I saw was when he's trying to cook those scallops, right? It was like sometime after that. Gordon Ramsay follows him on his Twitter. Just seeing how hype he was, bro, has had me in stitches. I was like laughing my ass off. Dude, Etika permeated barriers with people. He not only was he followed by Gordon Ramsay, he also had Daddy Sakurai retweet one of his reactions. And this was a lot earlier into his career for sure. And this was back in the day, shortly after he had the giant tarp blocking off like some of his room. Like back in those days, it wasn't too far after that. Who knows? Maybe I'm one of the only people that look in this deep to Etika's past and his streaming career. But anyways, I know there's definitely at least maybe one or two people out there that know what I'm talking about. And no matter his living situation, the guy was always doing what he loved most. Although I didn't watch his content back in 2012, after his passing, I went back and started watching like the oldest content I could possibly find. That was when I saw that this man had come from the absolute trenches. Watching back at his early videos around 2012, this man was creating content from like the homeless shelter, maybe before this, but he was literally making content from a homeless shelter. Seeing this really made something click, man. I just got overwhelmed with emotion. Like watching his progress is just something that will stick with me forever. As a human, I need to see things like that. Hell, I think we all do. Watching his old Poke Mosh Pit videos, man, those were just so entertaining. Honestly, I like to throw one up every now and then when I'm working. Honestly, sometimes I look at myself, where I was, and then look at where others were during the same time. Not in a comparison, unhealthy type of way, but just a way to observe and to get insight from a different perspective. In 2012, I had just moved in with a girl that I really didn't like, but I let her kind of guilt me into it. It's just like a whole situation. I also wasn't really taking care of myself. I was essentially just a shell of a human, of the person I was kind of supposed to be. Just really letting life happen to me. Really didn't have any aspirations and pretty much just lived day by day. Seeing Etika creating like such powerful content by working with just what he had, when I contemplated, this and my life, I realized that having the right people in my circle, or really possessing the self-awareness I lacked at the time, was just really essential. Ultimately, taking responsibility is just necessary. It allows me to acknowledge that, I could have had led a more productive and fulfilling life then. Seeing one of the old videos where he's wearing some goggles and he's got like one of those Domo lanyards. If you don't know Domo and you're a little younger, you'll have to look it up. It was around everywhere back at this time. And Etika was reviewing a laptop that he had invested in for his content. I saw a kid that could relate strongly to myself when I was this age. Because, well, Etika was my age, only a few months older than me. This always felt important because I had someone that I could relate with, at the same age perspective. Some of the best times were when I was just bullshitting around, maybe having some drinks, and I'd see Etika going live at like 3 or 4 a.m. And I'm like, well, there goes my sleep for the night. I remember gaming until I was like nodding out, pretty much passing out in my chair when he would drop these random streams. One was a true tactician has nothing to fear. If you want to look it up, he was like playing with some viewers in Smash. It was great. There were countless times that this would happen, and Honestly, the hype and emotion I would feel is unmatched by any feeling from anything I pretty much watched today. And, I'll always remember that. One of the things that hit me really hard at Etika's passing was back, I was actually pretty poor at the time, but I really wanted to switch. One of the things that had really hit me hard with Etika's passing was back when I was, pretty poor. I really wanted to switch. The job I was working at the time didn't really pay well, but I had a coworker that eventually became a good friend, and he got promoted and put in a good word for me, so then I get promoted as well. Remember getting the first couple of good checks and set a little bit of money aside to finally get a Switch for me and my partner. I was really hyped to finally get to play some Nintendo titles alongside one of my favorite content creators. Hell, Etika was the only reason I got a Switch, to be honest. I finally felt like an official Joy-Con boy now that I had the Switch now, you know what I'm saying? Well, unfortunately, maybe a few weeks after I got my Switch, I get a message from a friend that asked me, did you see what happened with Etika? They had sent me a link to the video where he was being carried out in a stretcher after his first episode. I was, of course, extremely concerned because I was able to catch Etika's streams back before I was working less hours, but since I had been working more, I could only catch him like every now and then. I dug a little deeper and I uncovered this was around the time his channel had gotten deleted. I feel like I caught a few random streams wherever he was broadcasting at the time, but I was unsure of the entire situation because I had been a little bit out of the loop about his channel being deleted. It was around then I uncovered the live when he was like at his apartment and then got removed. I really couldn't believe what was happening, and I was absolutely shocked how things shifted so quickly. I remember catching a stream where he was telling everyone that he had been living with his mom, which I never thought that was a problem. Hell, probably even a good thing. Shortly after this point in time, though, it seemed like things were spiraling a little more. I don't want this video to be negative in any light whatsoever. I was just trying to explain what was going on with Etika around the time I got my Switch. Still to this day, I pretty much refuse to watch any of the content where he lived in that last apartment. Those streams are hard for me to watch because not only is the chat around this time just terrible, I could just tell he wasn't feeling himself. But aside of all that, I was just sad because I only got to maybe catch one or two streams where he's playing Smash and I could play some matches while I had the stream in the background. Man, since making this video, I've just had a lot of realizations. Truly, how much Etika has inspired me. Like, I have a brand, Lucky Bento, and it was created with some inspiration by Etika, honestly. I remember him working with Aki Riot, and, he's a great artist. They made his epic Red Robin shirts. I'm sure many of you'll remember. Dude, actually, a funny fact. Speaking of Aki Riot, someone recently ripped off their artwork for, like, some weed company's packaging. I found out because I saw the Fulcrum, like the Fulcrum, like come in Yodi gang type of shit, and it was like a package, and Fulcrum had it, and it had Aki Riot, reply on, and you can see the whole thing on Twitter. Anyways, let me stay on topic. Well, I remember wanting to take that idea of, working with other artists and spin it into a whole brand somehow. And honestly, Etika was the seed that planted that idea. Hell, I got my own barefoot waifu created for my own brand, but respect to the original, of course. I had some great things happen with Lucky Bento, especially when I first got on TikTok with my brand and had my first few viral videos. It really opened my eyes to what I could accomplish in my life. And I'll always think of Etika when reflecting on those days, man. But hands down, entirely my absolute favorite Etika stream was when he was living in the apartment when they did the evisceration video of Princeton, like him and Triforce. Etika ends up getting pretty drunk, and it was because the stream, everybody in the stream, the community was just going absolutely crazy with donations. And if you're interested in this video, it's called It's About That Time, My Boys. It's from the channel library of Etika. Specifically, the one amazing part of that video as well is 1 hour and 56 minutes and 38 seconds in, where he drops like some seriously amazing insight and delivers like such a good speech. I honestly need to hear that speech every now and then. Be aware he does get pretty lit this stream, and I'm not encouraging any reckless drinking or anything, but also be aware this is back in 2017 where the chat was like hella spicy. That being said, one of the funniest parts is when he basically has finished the whole bottle of Devil Springs vodka and he just kind of disappears off the stream for a minute, right? And it's just like nothing, and then he just falls into his bed out of nowhere, like off camera, and his head like goes into his plate of food. Oh my god. And another hilarious part is at 1 hour 10 minutes and 30 seconds where he's talking about meeting a fan at Starbucks, and that fan like fanboys the fuck out and spazzes, And then shortly after that one, he tells another story. It's pretty good. It's like an awkward encounter with the person from the same meetup. Yo, I'll have all the links down in the description if you want to check this out. But hey, it's kind of a chaotic stream, but man, I have to say there are so many good parts to this stream before he gets too wasted. Hell, even when he is wasted. But that's how I feel about all of his content. It always just radiated this intense hype energy. You really felt like you're a part of something electric. Hey everyone, it would mean a lot if you would share this video with someone else who might be a fellow Joy-Con boy, or someone else you think would enjoy this content. I kind of felt like I was just lost roaming around, reminiscing and enjoying, great content from an old favorite. I remember there's probably others out there that feel similar like I do. And if you are one of them, I hope you stick around for a little while. Because, I don't think I'll ever stop pulling up the occasional Etika VOD when I need someone to chill with me in the background. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Consider dropping a sub, like, or hell, comment sharing something about Etika that you liked or a moment that you remember that was special to you. And until next time, as Etika would say, please have yourself a damn good one. Take it easy, gamers.